Hello YouTube. Today we're going to learn how to repair a broken sprinkler line. So what's happened here is I hired some people to install a fence. And they told me, no, we didn't break any sprinkler lines. Now the contracts of these fence installers normally say, look, we're not responsible for any utility or sprinkler lines that break when we're installed because you're the ones that know where the lines are, not us. Okay, that's fine. I understood that. I didn't know where the lines were because I'm not the original owner of this house. I did not install the sprinkler line. But, you know, at least tell me that you actually broke the sprinkler line. I asked them directly. They said, no, we didn't break anything. Right. Well, I tested my sprinklers the other day and I have this geyser popping up under my post here. So today we're going to learn how to repair a sprinkler line. Now you can see I've already dug some of it out. I'm going to use a spade and a garden shovel. This is going to give me all the clearance I need. And you can see the original owners decided to install this a little too close to the fence line, to the property line too. So this has caused me an issue. So I need to see how much of this line is still good and probably bypass somewhere from this side of the fence, under the fence, to here. So I'm going to continue digging, and then I'll give you a status update as soon as the trench is finished. Alright, so I've dug out my hole and I have found the break. If you can see that, it breaks right before the cemented part of my post here. You can see the elbow joint, and we lead to this point, and there is a utility line buried under here. That's more likely my telephone or cable, as it goes to a cable box there in the far distance. I didn't know how this would work because this sprinkler head is also on the same set, but there's no line going underground here to connect to this point. So I have to guess at some other point they did another T-junction to take care of the rest of this side yard. Alright, so I found my break. I dug out a hole. I've made some clearance under this pipe so I can cut, dig, and do a bypass because I'm going to want to find my line on this side now and then get under this fence and cut into this line for the bypass. Okay, so some of you might want to know, why do I need the garden shovel? Well, when I get close to the pipe, you know, it's pretty strong and normally it doesn't just snap when I hit my shovel, especially if I'm being careful. But I gotta get surgical when I get near it to clear off the space I need and do the job that I need to do. So now I gotta get in here and dig. A lot of loose debris from my neighbor's side of the yard. This gets frustrating, especially if you live in sandy areas. Your hole will keep filling in. Just means you gotta dig a bigger hole until you get more clearance. I'm a little lucky. I live in a clay area, and clay tends to keep its pace, but there's a lot of broken down pine needles and everything coming in. So we'll manage, and we'll keep scraping away until I get this pipe clear. Thanks. Okay, there you go, YouTube. The trench is dug underneath the fence to that side of the broken line, to that side of the broken line. Plenty of clearance on the pipe to do some cutting, get everything we need. Since this side is a lot more length, I'm going to cut it right about here and bring this pipe into Home Depot so I can figure out what size I'm dealing with. It's either 1 inch or 3/4 inch, but I'm never sure. And I like to bring in spare parts to Home Depot to make sure I'm buying what I need to buy, or Lowe's in this case. They're both the same store in my mind. Alright, I'll show you how to cut pipe here in a second. Alright, to cut PVC pipe, normally you can use a hacksaw, you can use a handsaw, but those can normally cause the pipe to chip where you're cutting if you're not careful. Here we have two standard pipe cutters. To your right is the PEX cutter, great for cutting PEX lines, but normally when they're sharpened out of the box they will go right through PVC too, no problem. To your left you have your standard PVC cutting pipe, also used for copper and other type of things. The reason I'm not going to use a saw here is I don't have much clearance. So these little tools come in handy for dealing with in-ground sprinkler issues. You can see they're already well worn and used. As a homeowner, I have had to do quite a few sprinkler repairs over the last couple of years, and I'm getting kind of good at it. Last year I had a line break on me because it froze and it broke the line. I've had to redirect lines, I've had to do all sorts of crazy things, so it just keeps happening and happening. In-ground sprinklers are an endless hobby, so start treating it that way, get used to it, and we'll go ahead and cut this out. I'll probably go ahead and use this one as it's normally safer with PVC, and we'll see. So you get them attached and clamped down, and you just start rolling them around the pipe. And if you took middle school wood shop, have done this already. This is very simple. And as you cut, you tighten a little bit more, and you keep cutting. And occasionally they pop off. But keep doing that. The pipe will come off fairly quickly, and then we'll get our spare part. Okay, I cut the pipe out. Now sometimes the measurements are on the pipes. You just got to clean them, get the mud off, and you can find out what size pipe you're dealing with. Okay, YouTube, let's take a minute to talk. We've excavated the trench. We've cut off our broken pipe, and we're going to go pick up some parts here to repair it. Keep in mind, when I tested my lines, I noticed the geyser, that debris might have gotten in the line. This can cause sprinkler heads to get clogged or break, so we may have more work to do after we're done patching this line. I'm going to try to get as much dirt out of it as possible. Luckily, my sprinkler valves, which control the flow of water, have purge regulators on them. So first I can try to purge that to get debris out of the line. I can take a sprinkler head off of the line and try to let the water just flow freely out of it, cleaning out any debris. We'll have to see when we get there, but keep that in mind that a broken line isn't always a simple job. Let's go to Lowe's with my spare part here, my old sample. Yeah, my car's dirty. You guys can all comment. And I'm taking my dog. She'll sit in the car, but it's a cold day, so she won't overheat. So PETA lovers out there, beware. I am taking care of the sensitivity of my dog, and she loves to come with me. She just can't go in the store. Okay, I went to Lowe's and I bought everything we need to finish this project. We got primer and glue. I have some left over, but it's getting old and I don't want to rely on it, so I bought some new stuff. A couple elbow joints and spare pipe. First thing we're going to do is clean off the old pipe. Make sure there is a clean surface for the glue to adhere to. You can use a wet rag, that's fine. I'm a daddy, so I have baby wipes available. You guys notice I don't show you a lot of the actual work being done because I'm my own cameraman. So we'll just go through the steps. I'll tell you what to do, and you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to figure out, how do you dig a hole? Gosh, I don't know how to dig a hole. Everyone should know how to dig a hole, folks. I'm showing you respect by not showing you the actual digging part. What does that do for you? Unless you like watching people work. I just want to give you the steps to figure out how to fix these problems. Especially if you don't have much experience with it. A lot of us guys may not have experience with it. Me, I'm a video gamer. I love video games. Went to college. Really didn't do anything with my degree. I now work in a place that pays the bills but doesn't really utilize me the way I'd like. But at the same time, I actually do a pretty good job. And they do appreciate me. I just, sometimes I wonder, maybe I should have got a better college degree and I could pay other people to do this instead of busting my hump every day doing a job that barely pays enough. Alright, so those are nice and clean. Alright, so now we're going to start measuring the pipe and cutting, getting the lengths that we need. You should use a measuring tape to do this. I'm more of an eyeballer, and I have a nice overhead view to figure out what I need. Keep in mind your elbow joints are going to take a little bit of space off of what you're doing. Got my nice little cutter here. And we'll cut the fit now. What do you think, YouTube? Did I eyeball that pretty well? Gosh, I hope I did. Alright, let's get our next length. So I've decided to go ahead and just do this one length at a time. So break out your primer. Make sure you prime everything the glue is going to touch, including inside of the elbow joint. Get it there, get that in there. And then let it dry for about a minute. Okay, once you're sure the primer is in there and it's dry, you're going to go ahead and put the glue on the same way. Wrap it around that end, put some glue in that end, and then shove them together. Because I want to do this quickly, I'm not going to be filming this part, but I'll show you what it looks like after I have it pieced together. Alright, after it's shoved on, you can give it a little bit of a turn, point it in the right direction that you want it, and then give the glue about a minute to set. And then we'll do our next length from here to there and get ready for our next chart. As you go, keep going on with the primer and the glue. Let it dry between before you use the glue. Let that primer dry. Okay, remember when you get those pipes in, try to give them a 45-degree turn so that they'll grip and they'll grab and they'll set. All right, you clean a little bit of dirt out from under that pipe so I can get my elbow around. And let's get this done. Getting closer. Just got one last attachment to make. Okay, YouTube, I've made all the attachments. Luckily, PVC is a little bit flexible because my measurements weren't perfect. Also, now is cleanup. We're going to fill in the holes and then try to put the sod back on top and the way I cut it out. Just in case though, I bought a little bit of seed, not only to take care of the areas where my sod might not cover, but when they dug my fence, I had a few little bald spots left over and I might need some seed. So I'll show you what the finished project is. The glue should only take about a minute to set and ready to test, 15 minutes to fully dry, an hour if you want to be sure. But now I get to fill this hole in. That's the pains to be a homeowner. You want to have a nice lawn. Yeah, you're always going to have these little problems. Okay, finished result. I got a lot of extra soil covering some of my sod. This looks so bad because the area was already chopped up from when the post got put in. So we'll spread a little bit of seed and try to make it look better. Okay, YouTube, that's it. Grass seed's down. I patched what I could of some sod, but there's so much soil that needs to settle. We're going to do a test and make sure everything works, but first I got to clean up and get everything out of the way that's going to get wet. Okay, I could just use my automatic sprinklers, wait for the whole thing to cycle, but I don't have the patience. Now I probably should have tested the line before I covered it over, but what we're going to do is open up the sprinkler box, manually turn on the water, wear your work gloves because the thing is going to have spiders in it. Okay, so here we go. We're testing this water zone. Pressure is really good. Make sure everything works right. Want to make sure the sprinklers are turning. That one's turning well. This one turning. Yes, it is turning. of course I want to make sure, you know, one more that's turning right. Alright, this is my last sprinkler on this zone. Oh, we got a problem. Get that little clicky click sound? She's not turning. I got to replace that entire sprinkler. Well, I'm unstuck. So maybe it just had a little bit of dirt in the sprinkler that was preventing it from working. Let's let it come back. Either way, I may want to consider replacing the sprinkler. I got a few of them that I need to replace. But when I did my test earlier before I realized my line was broken. Well, let's look over on the corner. I got all this water hitting the camera now. Wind's just blowing. I don't got any geysers popping up. That's where the break was. We are holding. We have decent water pressure. I think this job was a repair. Repair job was a success, YouTube. Wonderful. So, I will worry about replacing 3 broken sprinklers that I found earlier, and we'll do that in a separate video. Congrats. Job well done today. One last thing, let's turn off the sprinklers. If you have a valve like mine, there's this little detachable wrench that you can put on the top. Just do manual turns ons and offs. And that's it, we're done. If I need to do a manual purge, I would turn that little screw right there, and it would let a lot of debris through the valve. Fixing any type of issues. If that comes up, we'll do a video.